And we're back. Let's go ahead and meet this ferryman.
Yeah, what do you want?
I want to talk to you, good sir.
Alexander promised
No.
the boat to Alexander, Alexander, Alexander,
Click on the
Alexander.
guy.
Go!
So you have a specific amount of time to manage to click on the ferryman.
I said the...
Excuse me.
There we go.
My name is Alexander. The owner of the bookshop in the village told me you might be able to help me. I hear you used to run this ferry for the islands. I'd like to talk to you if you have a moment.
You say old Allie sent you? I can't see why. The ferry's not running, you know.
I understand. I'd just like to talk to you about the islands if you don't mind.
Well, I guess it'd be all right if Allie sent you. Well, don't just stand there. Come on inside. What is it you wanted to talk about, young man?
Everything.
I'm a visitor to these islands. I'd like to learn what I can about the area.
So you said outside. What is it you want to know?
Well, for one thing, why has the island's only ferry been dry docked?
Huh. It just ain't safe to sail these days. What with the islands feuding and all. Wazir Al-Hazred ordered the ferry closed till things settled down. Me, I don't think she'll ever see water again.
But why are the islands feuding?
You got me. Something about stolen property or some such thing. 'Tis a real shame. Things used to be so friendly.
Then this unrest is recent.
A few years is all, but it's been long enough.
Perhaps if the ferry were repaired.
This old thing? This ferry's been out of water so long she's no longer even seaworthy. Her boards have dry rot. She'd fall apart at the first taste of seawater.
But there must be some way to get off this island.
There's only one other way to travel that I know of. A magic map. The owner of the pawn shop can tell you more about that than I can, Alexander.
Alright. Pawn shop owner knows about a magic map.
Tell me more about the ferry.
I remember when I used to ferry Queen Ilaria and Princess Cassima themselves. There was no thought of danger back then. They used to go visiting to care for the needy and to keep up the friendly relations between the islands. I remember their last trip. Things had started getting nasty by then, and when they came back aboard, I gathered that the Queen and the Princess had been received a bit coldly. Princess Cassima was such a pretty thing, and she was terribly upset. But who could be spreading these lies, she asked the Queen, but the Queen had no answer.
Okay. What else do you know?
What do you do now that the ferry no longer operates?
Me? I'm out of a job.
Oh.
The job my ancestors have held for generations. I'm the only one trained to avoid the reef and the rocks. But that knowledge does me no good now.
Is there no other boat on the island? One that might be more seaworthy?
Boats don't last long on these shoals, as you may have found out if you got here by ship. You can be quite sure that this old ferry is, or was, the only craft on the island.
Okay. Well, he's been a wealth of information. What's this?
I
on his
see
table?
you have a rabbit's foot. Has it brought you much luck?
As you can see, my luck's been out for some time now, despite that old charm. Why don't you take it with you? Perhaps giving the darn thing away will bring me good fortune at last.
Here's hoping.
Perhaps it will at that. Thank you.
All right. So let's get out of
Well,
here from Handshake.
I think I'll be going now. Thanks for allowing me into your home.
Posh, not at all. It breaks the boredom, if you know what I mean.
Oh, what a life you live. All right. So we've talked to the ferryman. He has told us that Ali, the bookseller in town, or no, the pawn shop guy. Ali sent us. So the pawn shop guy will have the magic map. So how dear is that going to be? I mean, I can't imagine that being super cheap. And we have no monies. All we have is our lovely Daventry ring, which we do need moving forward.
Good day.
Hi, mysterious man in a robe. Alright, so let's just
The
talk to this guy.
The dusty shop remained.
Excuse me, merchant, but the ferryman mentioned that you might have a magic map of the land of the Green Isles.
Why, as a matter of fact, I do.
Oh, good.
I keep it under the counter. It's been gathering dust so long that I nearly forgot about it. It was quite a few years ago, you see. The estate of a wealthy wizard fell into my hands when he died. It was useless magical junk mostly, which reminds me, I've still got some things of his in the back that I need to dump out. Anyway, the magic map was the one true treasure in the lot. The wizard was quite old and feeble and had enchanted the map to aid in traveling. It is said that one need only desire to be on an island depicted on the map to find oneself there.
Seems
It is
useful.
a very valuable map, as you can imagine. Unfortunately, no one is interested in traveling these days. It is far too dangerous with the current state of the kingdom.
What would you take for the map?
I would normally want something magic in return, but since I am hardly overrun with prospective buyers, I would be willing to take anything of equal value in exchange.
Figured it was going to be pricey, but we do have the one thing that is any good at all, and that is our lovely gold
Would
ring.
you be willing to take my family ring in exchange for the magic map?
Daventry, are you a king then?
No, that's my father, King Graham. I'm just Alexander.
Well, Prince Alex, she is a beautiful ring. Are you sure you can part with such a unique family heirloom?
The ring does mean
squinting
a lot
eye.
to me. I didn't always have a family, you know. Still, it is only gold. There are more important things at stake now.
Then you now own a magic map, Prince Alex. I will keep your ring out of sight for a few days. If you find anything else of great value in your travels, you can come back for your ring. I would hate to see it melted down for gold. Ah, and a warning about the map. It will only operate when you are out in the open and within sight of the sea. The limitation has something to do with the teleport spell ingredients. You might try the beach.
That would be.
Thank you.
That would meet the
You are
qualifications.
very
Yes.
kind. And I'll remember about the map.
All right. So we now own a map.
Suddenly, the old man in the concealing cloak sneaks past Alexander, and with a sneaky dart of his hand, steals a mint from the candy jar.
And now
The
he's
old
drunk.
man stuffs the mint into his mouth and wobbles unsteadily out of the pawn shop.
Master! I followed Prince Alexander as you wished from the pawn shop owner. He just abstained, just reprieved. He just got a magic map.
Bonk.
You fool! You've been eating those mints again. I ordered you to stop that.
Yes, Master.
Now, what is this about a magic map?
With the map, Prince Alexander could travel anywhere as quickly as I can.
That's good.
I thought I took care of the only means of travel. By my scimitar, I can't have him stirring things up now. Get a hold of yourself and listen carefully, Shamir. Go to the other islands and tell them...
Stirring up trouble, are we? All right. So clearly that upsets the vizier, and anything that upsets the vizier is A-okay in my book, because... okay, let's
The
go more
back
things.
wall of the shop holds various odds and ends. For example, a hole detector,
We saw that one.
cat cookie mix,
Yeah.
a golden brush, self-adhesive
I think it's all the
tongue-climbing
same.
gear.
Tongue climbing gear. That's
tested on over
Rosella's.
100 whale tongues. A uvula tickler,
Again.
guaranteed to make large mammals sneeze.
Same with Rosella.
A cheese hook,
Cheese
for
hook.
a shovel that's guaranteed not to break for over
That
100
is
grave
King's Quest
diggings.
2.
A bridge repair kit, for when
That's
you've
King's
crossed a
Quest 2 as
bridge
well.
one too many times. Stair traction
That-
pads. Stop slipping
all
off
the
those narrow
games.
staircases. A ho-ho
Okay, we've seen them all. Okay. Alright, and let's just save, make sure. And because I am watching him move his butt so slow, I'm going to turn the speed up. Watch this. Whew! Still takes the stairs at a normal speed.
Hello.
Oh, hello.
I will be right up.
I think we can't really do
Now.
anything with him yet.
What can I do for you?
We already looked at everything in here. Yes. Okay. We've got our boring book. We've got our love poem. So let's go ahead and try out our brand new Smancy magic map. Hello, Nightingale. We will get to you later. Alright, here we go. First time we're going to crack open this magic map. Luckily, it puts it right at the beginning of
Alexander
inventory
pulls
all
out
the
his
time.
magic map.
So no matter how when we get, well, we have to get it at the beginning, but it doesn't get buried in our inventory, which is nice. Okay, so different islands we can go to. Go to the Isle of the Beast. There's nothing we can do right
Alexander
now.
feels a
go to the
strange
Isle of Sacred
pulling
Mountain.
sensation.
Not going to do much here, but we can pick up a couple items. Whoop. Now, let's pick up this lovely flower.
Alexander picks the
Which, let's just look at it real quick since I accidentally clicked through the
colors of
description.
flame burst from the center of the incredibly stinky flower and drip onto its petals. The flower's appearance is as flamboyant as its smell.
Alright. And this looks like a feather.
Alexander takes the feather.
Can't do much more
There
here.
appears to be something etched into the face of the cliff. Alexander decides to get closer.
I mean, I could probably get to the top of the cliffs, but I can't do anything with it right now because I'm not at that point of the game yet. So, let's go ahead and check out a different
Alexander
island.
pulls out his magic map.
So let's go to the Isle
Alexander
of Wonder.
feels a
This is one of my
strange pulling
favorites,
sensation.
just because it's so silly. I love it. Now, right now, we can't do much. What we can do,
One of the oysters is sitting up in bed and doesn't look very happy.
it's
He
an
seems
oyster
to be the
bed.
only one who can't sleep. In
But
the
there's
oyster's
something
mouth,
in its mouth.
Alexander can see a glint of white.
So let's see how to get us to sleep. We do have a book here, and it seems rather boring.
Perhaps
so maybe this will
Alexander should
put him.
find out more.
Yes, okay, I've got to talk to him first.
Why aren't you asleep like the other oysters?
Oh, I'm so weary, but I can't sleep. I have a terrible ache in my mouth.
Poor baby. So let's see
If you're
you
having
want-
trouble sleeping, perhaps you'd like me to read to you.
Hey, that would be great.
2 dulcimers raised to the degree of 40 half-dulcimers, divided into equal parts by the third of a cackle of grouse geese, put over the result of 10 fine mackles, albeit small fine mackles, stretched over the total of 53 and an eighth bottles of wild beast lard.
Oh, there's something in there.
Yields a gilded minnow of precise measurements, 2,069 centidrills by 3,023 and 6/7 puns, not
I'm gonna
punts,
fall
as
asleep.
might be expected. This is not to say, however, in any sense whatsoever, that deviations in mean temperature of 5 or 6 dregs or so
Alexander makes a grab for the pearl.
It's a pearl. Cool.
Hey, you fixed my mouth. It feels great.
And falls asleep.
Ah, the little oyster drifts into peaceful slumber with the rest of his oyster friends.
Cool. So now what we're going to do is save. No reason. No reason at all. So let's go further onto the
Alexander
islands.
hears someone coming.
5 fierce guards of the isle we be. Watch for a foreign man, said he, with ears and nose, tongue, hands, and eyes. Its nature cannot be disguised. If man it be, then man it dies. Old Tom Troll, smell your smell.
Okay,
Do
so
that which you do so well.
these 5 guardians of the Isle of Wonder each correlate to a specific sense. So the first one is smell, the second one has huge ears, so he is one for hearing things. The third one is taste. The fourth one is feel, and the last one is vision. Now, I don't have everything I need to get through this altogether, but I will get through all the ones I can, and then we'll have to go back and get the item for the last one. So, first things first, we've got our smell guy, and he's going to be repulsed by the smell of
Alexander
this flower.
holds the flower of stench out to the gnome with the jumbo nose.
Tom Troll I am, that's all I'll be. My nose knows all on land and sea. A flower of stench has washed ashore. A flower 'tis all, and nothing more. Listen,
Alright.
hark you, Grovenor. Do your duty as you swore. With your ears, please tell us more.
Alright. So, what do we have that makes noise? Our wind-up nightingale.
Alexander winds the tin nightingale and plays it for the gnome with the monumental ears.
He's not hearing that.
A nose is not a way to spy.
His ears.
My ears
Oh.
cannot be told a lie. A nightingale is all there be. No man is near, and so say me. Taste, Grump, that we might know whether friend or whether foe.
Alright, what do we have that's tasty? We've got a mint.
Alexander holds the mint out for the gnome with the gigantic mouth.
Grump knows a tasty treat. It matters not what others bleat. No danger is this one so sweet. Trilly dilly, use your hands. Is it beast or is it man?
Alright, so now we need something that doesn't feel like a person, which is our lucky rabbit's foot.
Alexander holds the rabbit foot out for the gnome with the huge hands.
Be all you mad? What aileth thee? A bunny can't trill merrily. A hare does not at all taste sweet. A rabbit here is all we greet. Old Bill Batter, never fatter. Vision can resolve this matter. Look you now and end this chatter.
Alright, I don't have anything for this, but let's see if I can do this.
Alexander pulls out his magic map.
See if I can go to another location.
Alexander
Real quick.
feels a strange pulling sensation.
Ah, that works. Oh, it'd be cool if you could see him open his eyes and be like, he's not there. Then we could go back, but I don't think that works. So let's go get the items we need to finish that, which is in town. And I do believe... Oh, let's watch him take the trash out. I do believe I have to go in and get another mint. So let's do that. Because he did eat my mint.
Good day.
Good day.
Alexander takes a mint.
Thank you. That's all I needed. Have a great one. Let's see what's
Alexander
in this trash can.
Alexander sorts through the odds and ends that
Because
the
remember,
pawn
he
shop
said
owner
he had some
dumped
stuff
into
from
the
that
pot.
wizard that he needed to throw out.
Magic exploding gum wrappers, a shattered crystal ball, a cracked wand, a fake thumb.
All the best items ever. Can I pick them all up?
Near the bottom, Alexander finds a little glass bottle labeled ink. It appears to be empty, but Alexander decides to take it anyway. You never know when a small bottle will come in handy.
That is true. Okay, so let's look at this bottle.
Alexander's carrying a little ink bottle. It appears to be empty. Alexander shakes the bottle and imagines he hears a faint swishing sound, but decides he is mistaken.
Let's see.
Alexander decides to open the empty ink bottle.
All right. Oops, I paused it by going up to the top.
It's stuck. It's... Whoa! The ink bottle isn't empty at all. It's full of invisible ink. Not very strong, but not bad.
So, that's interesting. Instead of invisible ink, it makes you invisible. That will be certainly useful with our seeing dwarf or gnome or whatever we're fighting against on the Isle of Wonder. I do like having sped it up. It makes it go a lot faster. Because there's a lot of walking back and forth. And with Graham, in the last one, we couldn't say, you know, move your buns. Like we can with
Alexander pulls out his magic map.
Wonder if there was a speed thing you could set. But
Alexander feels a strange
find out some other
pulling
time.
sensation.
We're going back to the Isle of Wonder. Let's defeat our little gnome guardians.
Alexander
And
hears
there we go.
someone coming.
Let's do this again. We don't have to listen to all their prattling again, do we?
I've discovered
Yes, yes, yes. We know you're sent to kill me if I'm a person. Alright, so he is the smell guy. So let's give him the flower.
Alexander holds the flower of stench out to the gnome with the jumbo nose.
Tom Trow I am. That's all I'll be.
Yes, yes. Cool. So
Listen,
now Grosvenor gets my nightingale.
Alexander winds the tin nightingale and plays it for the gnome with the monumental ears.
Oh, I should have got my ring back when I was back at the pawn shop. Oh well. Look at the Persian. Yeah. It's like losing it.
a nose is not
Alright, so he's convinced.
taste.
Yes, yes, Grump. Let's give you the mint.
Alexander holds...
Yum, yum, yum.
Grump flump.
And he wants the rabbit foot, right? Yes.
Alexander holds the rabbit foot out for the gnome with the huge hands.
Be all you mad?
Alright, so, eyeball guy.
Old Bill Batter, never fat.
Let's get the ink bottle, and we use it on ourselves.
Alexander pours the contents of the empty
It's nice that he
ink bottle over
waits to
himself.
open his eyes until after I've used this invisible ink. Hit!
By all that's beauteous, fair, and sightly, 4 morons do I sleep with nightly. There's nothing there at all, I say. Enough of this. Let's now away.
Cool. So we tricked the gnomes.
Alexander did it. He's fooled the guards.
Guards, yay! All right, so let's
Alexander
skip
sees-
this. What is this?
Alexander picks up the object floating in the water. It appears to be a string of letters. They say, "Where are you going?" Alexander decides to keep the odd sentence, even though it is incomplete.
All right, so we are now free to wander around the Isle of Wonder. Let's go over here first, if it'll let me. Come on, there we go. Oh, this place is so
The
weird.
tail end of the tail end.
I want to
the
get the
tail-
description of these bees.
The tail. Little bees buzz around the books as though the pages were laden with the sweetest pollen. Maybe they're spelling bees.
Oh, the puns. Let us...
Wow. Hiya, gorgeous. Oh, what a luscious-looking hunk of flesh you are.
Hi.
Thank you, I guess. Who are you?
How charming of you to pretend not to know. I'm Black Widow, of course. The femme fatale of all femme fatales. Know what I mean?
Yeah, I kind of do.
You know, I was just thinking it was time I found my 50th, another husband. It would be quite a horror, an honor to have me as a bride.
I'm sure.
Just look at my beautiful weaving. It's so light, so delicate. You'll never want to leave my little nest.
Don't suppose I would.
It is a lovely web, but my heart is elsewhere, I'm afraid.
Oh, drat! The loss is yours. I'm sure you'll change your mind once you consider the advantages.
Alright, so I'm super interested in this scrap of paper here. I have a feeling she's going to bite me if I go for it. But there's also this little string.
Hey, don't touch that thread!
She does not like that, so I want to pull it. And now that she's distracted...
Alexander snatches the scrap of parchment, curious to see what's written on it.
And it says, love. Cool. And it blows away.
The wind blows the scrap of paper from Alexander's hand, but he remembers what it said well enough.
That's easy to remember. Alright, so let's look at this stack of books. So you need to find a
What
rare
do you
book
think
for the bookseller in
you're
town.
doing?
I'm sorry. I didn't realize these books had an owner. I'm in need of a rare book.
No owner? All books have owners, my good man. And this book owner, bookworm to you, wouldn't part with one of his books for anything.
Isn't there something I can do for you to pay for the book?
Let's see. Do you have an itinerant clause?
Nope.
No. No clauses at all, I'm afraid.
As an exception, you always should.
Don't mind oxymoron and diphthong. They're fairly limited grammatical principles, you know. Let's see. A marsh pig that does Texas?
Nope. Fresh out of marsh pigs.
No. I'm afraid not.
A dangling participle?
I'm
Nope.
fresh out.
A purple fiddle
I don't even know what that is.
No, I don't think so. Sorry.
An idiosyncrasy, perhaps?
Afraid
Oh, I've been
not.
called an idiot.
Ha! Then what good are you?
Alright, so he's looking for pretty much grammatical things to trade for a book, so we gotta keep our eye out for one of them. So you see over here oxymoron and diphthong. Oxymoron is just a contradiction of terms like jumbo shrimp, or as an exception, you always should. Diphthongs are any two letters that make a different noise, such as CH making a ch sound or SH making a sh sound instead of their C and H together. It's very common
There's
in
no
our
reason
language.
to use that on the...
Oh, for Pete's sake. Let's get him to walk over here first. Yes. So,
Alexander sees no
he's
use for that
clearly
item
into
there.
grammar. What? I'm trying to click
Alexander
on you.
pulls
There.
out his magic map.
Let's go back and get our ring and look for this dangling participle or idiosyncrasy or whatever. So, let's go
Alexander
by way
feels
of
a
the only ones we
strange
haven't gone to
pulling
yet is Isle of the
sensation.
Beast. We actually can do something here now. What is this? Okay, so we have a deer, we have some sticks, and we'll get to you. And you hear the music in the background. It's the same music that was playing in the caterpillar's lair. That looks scary and dangerous, so that's obviously out of our way for right now. So what we can do here is look at
There's
this
an
thing.
odd little creature dangling from that tree branch.
Let's talk to it.
Hello, friend. Aren't you an odd-looking little fellow?
I'm not odd-looking, you are.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't realize you could speak.
Speak not. Funny is, speech I am and nothing but.
Alright, so this looks like it may be some sort of strange grammatical
This is
thing
the only
that we can use. So let's lure it down with a sentence
Alexander
fragment,
holds
because
the
of course...
sentence out to the creature.
This sentence seems in need of an ending. Perhaps you could finish it?
Where are you going? Where are you going? Know what I do? Where are you going to? Like you I do. Go I with you.
Cool. Whatever you are. Oh dear. Stay classy, Alexander.
Well, that was certainly interesting. It looks like Alexander now has a passenger.
So remember when I was pointing out the stuff in the inventory and you had a little talk thing?
Take me home to.
Okay, I'll take you home. So let's go back to Isle of the Crown.
Alexander feels a strange pulling sensation.
And I think we're going to cut it there and pick up in the next episode with reclaiming my family jewelry, getting ourselves a rare book, and acquiring our magic tome. As we know, Alexander is good at the magics, so we will join him next time as we complete up some tasks on Isle of the Crown. See you then.